Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Real Estate. This is part 3 of 3, and we're going to be continuing our talk about the 10 laws for follow-up in the new world. We've gone through 1 through 6, I believe. Let me check. Yep. And if you do need this document, just message me on Instagram. I will gladly send it over to you. We did a whole group coaching session on this where we went through all of these and see how we could apply them. In fact, next week we're going to be doing a whole session on sharing what all of these possible items of value would look like for all the agents that we've got. So that's in group coaching, abrillianttribe.com. Check us out. Let's go to number 7. Be patient and persistent. That's almost like, it's almost like you can't do both, I feel. But the patience is that this is going to take a long time. Most people you talk to aren't going to purchase immediately. And that allows you, with that mindset of knowing that you have to have some patience, allows you to approach this with that feeling like you can wait and it's not urgent and you want to connect and build this relationship. That's where I come from when I think of patience. And the key to all this is building this connection with who you're talking to so that when they finally do transact, they don't feel that pressure, right? They don't feel that, man, this person was so salesy, I'm never going to use them again. But in fact, the opposite happens where you do a great job and they start sending you more and more referrals. It opens up a whole other world. And the persistence piece is that you're going to have to keep on nudging them, connecting with them. And we can go to, number 2, where I said be relentlessly human. That's part of the persistence. And number 4, create value every time. I think the persistence has to be a way for you to show up in different forms, social, text, email, in all of these different ways. And I want you to remember the persistence isn't just you showing up and reminding them that you're there. It's coming from value. Number 8, use multiple channels. This is probably my pet peeve. And I'm specific to online leads on this one, the pet peeve. Here we go. So I really dislike when an agent gets an online lead and they say, hey, Tristan, I texted him. And then I look and I say, well, did you do anything else? They're like, no, I texted. I'm just going to wait for them to reach back out to me. Or I just called them and I'm like, well, what about the rest of the ways? I'm like, listen, using multiple channels to connect with somebody that reached out to you, that's actively on your website, that's alive, connecting, raising their hand in your database is smart. You need to reach out to them in multiple ways. Call, text, email. But again, remember how you want to make them feel, right? How do you want to make them feel? So in reaching out to them either by social, email, video text, video email, do it in a way that's bringing value. So I'll tell you one thing on this using multiple channels. One of the things I do is I do the double dial. And on that second call, there are sometimes some people who pick up and they're a little irritated, and that's expected. They're like, who the hell's calling me back a second time in a row? This better be important. So obviously they pick up and I'm like, hey, John. And they're like, hello, what is this? I'm like, hey, John, it's Tristan with Y Realty. Listen, I'm sorry that I double dialed you, but I just wanted to make sure that we did help you out like you wanted. We did take care of you. And then that changes the tone because number 1, I'm using a caring tone. Number 2, I'm saying the words that show or demonstrate and connect that I care. And that's the reason I'm calling. And so you've got to know what to say too in using multiple channels. Very important. Number 9, master the art of storytelling. This is my favorite one. Obviously, I'm a historian, graduated with a history degree. I love reading biology, biography. I don't like reading biology a lot. It's biographies and history. And so in that, I remember, I don't know when, but when I discovered Aristotle's process for connecting with someone deeper and making an impact in storytelling, it really stuck to me. And it's simple. I'm going to read these to you so I don't screw it up. It's ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is credibility, establishing trust by sharing your expertise or using testimonials. Pathos, it's emotion, connect on a personal level with stories that resonate with their struggles or goals. And logos is logic. Back your story with facts, data, or case studies that prove the effectiveness of your solution. See, the key to this is you're picking on all three, but don't start with ethos. I would rather you start with pathos. That's where you connect on a human level. And when you connect at a human level through stories that are relatable to who you're talking to, that opens everything up. So I usually go pathos, ethos, logos. And then you see, as you get better and better and better at this, you'll connect further. And this is part of the follow-up. This is part of that follow-up where like, maybe I should start with a story. Then maybe the next thing I should send out is more about establishing trust through my expertise. And maybe the following one should be more along the lines of facts and data. And then maybe I should alternate this. This way it's seen as valuable and not spammy, because trust me, if you're just talking about yourself the whole time, it's going to be spammy, right? Number 10, last one. And this is end with an invitation. I learned this from my friend Barry Jenkins recently more, and he's been calling up his database and teaching his agents to reach out to people and connect with them, and then offer to meet in person. And then if they've got a local event, offer to invite them to that event. Or if they've got some type of learning event where they're teaching buyers how to buy or sellers how to sell in this market or invest, he's inviting them to that. Or a community thing. The point is, you're inviting people into something with you in person. And the faster you can get there, the faster you can create trust, or at least leave an impression that when you meet in person, that they at least know who to use when it comes to real estate. And one of the things you want to do in follow-up when you connect with people, right? And sometimes you get them on the phone. That's part of follow-up. One of the things that we like to do, depending on that conversation, is say, hey, Joe, listen, even if you are a year away from making your move, I'd love to meet up just to go through this whole process with you. This way you're better educated. So if you are ready a year, 2, 3 years from now, you understand what this looks like, because this world of real estate has changed so much, especially now, just over the last couple of months. And I'd love to go through this with you just to educate you and help you make better decisions along the way. And obviously, I'm not going to try to lock you into anything. It's just for an education purposes. And it's like 15 minutes. And so that's how we're doing it. If it's just a meeting in person, like coffee or at the office. If it's something else, it's an invitation. We've got all of these local events that we do, and we create those as opportunities to bring in our clients. And that wraps up the 10. And hopefully we see each other tomorrow. Have an awesome day.